here we are. I am Barbara Parmeggiani, and I am a business coach. I am one of the associates of Weplusnetwork, and I'm here with Luca de Gaudenzi, who is, we will talk together, Luca, and introduce this, this session. And let me tell you how we are going to organize this afternoon. Here, if Luca, yes, thank you, the introduction, here you are. We will have, what is Associazione Weplusnetwork? Yes, I'm going to explain it right away. Thank you, Jeremy. And I'll tell you how we are going to organize this time that we will pass together. We will have a small introduction explaining who we are and why we are doing this, this workshop together. Then we will present the subject, and this will take about 20 minutes. Then we will have a few breakout rooms depending on who else is joining this afternoon. And in these breakout rooms, we will have a facilitator, and you will be asked, we will all be asked to share how we are dealing with these pandemics and how everybody is helping clients in this period, and what are the main issues that everybody is involved with. After this, we will share in the plenary, okay? So we will have some facilitated breakout rooms, and then we will be in the plenary. We will close around 7:15. This is how we are organized. And let me tell you who we are. Luca showed a slide in which there is Rome. Here we are. Rome, we are based, Weplusnetwork is based mainly in Rome, but has a few different places in Milan and in Turin. And you see here the Colosseum. This is a photograph that was taken during the lockdown, and you see nobody around. Now things has gone a little better, and we have some traffic, some people going on. We are in a post-lockdown, strict lockdown phase. Jeremy asks, what does we stand for something? Yes, thank you, Jeremy, for asking. We stands for the three ladies who founded Weplusnetwork. In 2013, we decided that we are experienced coaches, and we decided that we had to found this wonderful association that now is composed of 25 members. We are all professionals. We are all coaches or business coaches or teachers in the domain of soft skills development. And we are a great group of professionals inside this association. You see in the middle, there is the Business Coaching Lab. Business Coaching Lab is our main product, is a product that is a course. We have here Federica Setti, who is the leader in this project. Thank you, Federica, for joining us. You want to say something about the Business Coaching Lab? And let's ask Jeremy, we are all in La Bella Italia, right?
Yes, sure. Hello to everyone. I'm very happy to be here and to have the chance to share our experience. Our coaching program is a very interesting place in which we meet very experienced people which operates in HR services. So we love to share, and we love to compare our experience with others. This is also the reason of the we that it stands for Weplusnetwork. So I will be very happy to share to someone who is interested in our training program in any way, so you can contact me if you like. On the other side, I would really love to underline the fact that the way we are also proposing this webinar is very coherent with our logo, which is together we would like to do something more than as a single professional.
Right. So Luca, and where are you? You are from Turin, right?
Yes, I'm Turin,
Mm-hmm.
which is the northern part of Italy, for those who don't know. I'm a business executive coach, working in the change domain area since always, and from 2009 purely as an executive coach and counselor. I'm happy to be here with you today, and I would just share with you how this webinar was born. It happened to me to be involved, I think in the second day of lockdown here in Italy, in a webinar like this organized by Peter Hawkins. And I felt of extreme value the fact to be in breakout rooms, sharing what we were living with persons coming from other parts of the world. In particular, it was in a room with two persons from USA and one from UK. And we were living different phases of the recent experience. From this memory, the idea to organize something like that with Weplus came as a natural consequence when Wendy Johnson from the WABC invited us to organize something for this period.
Mm-hmm. I see here I have a note from Trish Anastos. Lucrezia, can you see if you can do anything to make Trish Anastos connect, because she cannot connect actually. Can you do something to help her? I am sending you the mail that she sent.
Okay, I can send again the invitation.
Yes, she says that she has some trouble getting into the seminar. Okay.
Okay, I will try to solve it.
Thanks a lot. So, who is Weplus? We are here going virtual, as everybody has in this period. We are not experienced in e-learning, but we are very experienced in coaching and individual coaching and team coaching. So in this period, we tried to go virtual and exploit technology the better we could to make our programs virtual. The Business Coaching Lab is going virtual, and we are heading now to 3 different sessions in Italy and in Rome, sorry, and in Milan, and doing it virtually. So we are dealing with this theme of going virtually. And here there are some products that we developed in this period and that we are selling to our customers. Remote leadership, you see the great theme of being a leader in a remote environment. This is quite new for Italy, so we are helping our clients in this transformation. Then a path for managers, tracks for re-energizing people who are having difficulty with a lockdown situation, and helping managers. We did this for a group in northern Italy, how to facilitate relationship and ideas sharing with technology. So we help them in this, and readings and mini coachings that are devoted to people who are experiencing difficulties in this period. So this is how we are trying to help, and we are going, of course, virtual. But let me tell you what the readings are. Here you have the readings. It's all Italian. Yes, it's all Italian, and so it's dedicated to those who speak Italian. But who knows? We are willing to do it in English sometime if we grow and if we continue with the international community. And you see here a few readings in Rome, a few readings in Milan. This is what was our original idea. Then COVID came and everything changed. You know, not more Rome and Milan. We are doing things together. And you see, readings are every month, and now every less than a month, we are presenting a book. One of our associates shares the contents of a book with our little community so that we keep up with knowledge, we increase in our professionalism, and we become better coaches. You can see here there are a lot of books. Some are very new, some are more traditional, but we accept the suggestions of our associates that propose a book, and this is an idea that is working and that is keeping our community tight. So Luca, at this point, let's go into experience sharing.
Yes, what we have done, we have organized 2 sessions. One was held last week in Italian, and today we will share this experience with you. Last week was with Italian colleagues, and we had the pleasure to share with our experience. That said, we can go through and enter in the real focus content of this webinar, starting from some pictures we would like to share with you that has been very useful for us. Starting from this picture, we are all aware that social distancing is a privilege. Speaking from our point of view in Western country, Italy more in detail, we know that no is not the same thing in some parts of the world.
Yeah, and social distances is a privilege. A friend of mine told me a sentence that I think it's very important, and that is that we are all in the same sea, but we are not all on the same boat. And we have to be conscious of that and try to help those who cannot have the privilege of social distancing, you know. And I had a coach a few days ago. She's an entrepreneur in the northern part of Italy. As you know, the northern part of Italy, and I am speaking about Veneto, had suffered one of the worst outbursts in coronavirus in the world. And we were the first country who was affected by coronavirus. And so nobody knew what to do apart from what China had learned until now. And this colleague, this coachee, she told me, Barbara, here, there is no one who didn't have some kind of fatality in his relatives, in his extended relationship. So we are all very affected. Here in Rome, for example, this was very mitigated. So our experience of coronavirus has been a little less dramatic.
Yeah. A second picture I would like to share with you is a picture that when we look at it some days ago, or better some months ago during the lockdown, made us reflect that we were not so in a not so bad condition being at home.
And you know, Luca, I have an auntie, she is 87, And she is obviously still, until now, she is at home. And I tell you, oh my God, she's alone. She lives alone. And I say, Lucia, are you okay? And she says, oh yes, no problem. I remember the war, you know, I remember the war, and this is nothing in comparison with what we experienced during the Second World War. So everything is relative, you know. And in a certain way, this pandemic, we say it is unexpected, but the experts say that every 100 to 120 years there is a pandemic in the world. So this is exactly what happened, because there was a huge pandemic in the world in 1918, and I read that it killed almost 50 million people worldwide. So in comparison with what happened 1 century ago, things now hopefully are going a little better.
Yes. What we can share is that globally we are going through, whatever we are, these three phases, starting from the last one, which is for us lasting since 1 week. We are in the better normal, in the new normal, and we are experimenting, and we'll discuss later which could be the characteristics and the elements of this better normal. And certainly we have all gone through lockdown and reopening with different levels of personal restrictions.
Yeah, that's it.
Has been characterized by social distancing and health safety measures.
Yeah, and you see here we have the 3 phases, and you know that we wrote in the phase 3 better normal. I took this from David Rock. David Rock introduces this term. I am speaking to Chris, for example, David Rock from the Neuro Leadership Institute. He is working to make this a better normal. We shouldn't work for a new normal that happens. We have to work for a better normal that we contribute to determine. We can change, and we have to learn from this experience. And as coaches, we have this moral obligation of bringing these lessons learned to the better normal, so to make it better. And here you can see the 3 phases. These are the classical 3 phases of change. And also Kurt Lewin, about 50 years ago, he introduces this model of change in 3 phases. The first phase is the phase of unfreezing. On a cognitive level, we need to unfreeze. Everything has changed. We have sort of a trauma, and we have to unfreeze what is happening, and so things get confused, and we enter phase 2 when we have to make the change happen. And that's the phase that is a lot difficult because we don't know what we have to go to leave behind and what we have to keep for the future and to imagine for a better future. And the third phase is when we refreeze and we make those things normal again. And then I would show like how Amy Cuddy commented on these 3 phases. I don't know if you know Amy Cuddy. She is a social scientist. There are a few TED Talks by Amy Cuddy that are really phenomenal. And so I took this slide from a post from her. I follow her, and she tells us that crises have 3 psychological phases. Lewin is cognitive phases. We need to make this cognitive reorganization. And Amy Cuddy tells us about how we react to this change. So the first one is emergency. I don't know if you experienced that, but this is exactly what I experienced. So this is why we are proposing this to everybody. At the beginning, it's a paradox, but we are more energized. We think about sharing. Here in Italy, we had a situation in which everybody at 6 o'clock in the afternoon was singing outside of the windows, and everybody was singing and sharing with other people what was there, to feel that we were together in this. So energized, focused, even productive at the beginning. Then starts the second phase. The second phase is where you start feeling tired of this and start losing your sense of purpose. Maybe you're irritable. You don't stand anymore to be locked at home. Maybe you're less productive. You start feeling a little of depression. And yes, and she says most of us are here right now in the phase of being in the middle, a little depressed. And I read what Jeremy is writing on the chat. Thank you, Jeremy. A quotation from Sonia Renee Taylor: "We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal, other than we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all humanity and nature." Thank you so much, Jeremy, for sharing this. I will keep this in my heart, and I will share it with all the friends that I am coaching, because this is really what we should do for a better normal. And for the third part, that is recovery, we become to reorient, we revise our goals, we revise our expectation, and we begin to focus on what needs to be done. So all of this is normal reaction to an abnormal situation. And here Federica says that we need to start thinking to a real better normal. Now I'm sharing with you an experience that I'm having with a client right now. They started smart working, yes, remote working from home. And now they decided, there were so many benefits that they decided that this will become a usual pattern of the organization. And so they are working to make it permanent, because the benefits in terms of people being with your family, being at home, and choosing to go to your company or staying at home, brings a lot of advantages also for the planet. Less traffic, less congestion, less hours lost in the middle of the traffic and pollution. Yeah, that's it. So we should make a better normal, Luca, right?
Yes, what we are going to share now is an extract from two research articles that I read during the lockdown, in which we can go through some points that we can consider as emerging elements of the better normal or new normal. These are in many parts of the world, these are phenomena or trends that probably are already a reality. And starting from the first point, where we are assisting and seeing all over the world to the cost of confidence. This means that according to our subjective experience, there are some of us that due to the lockdown maybe are facing a moment of depression, of a decrease of self-confidence, while others are experiencing a increase of self-confidence because of the fact that they are in the first line, medical line, or in the main services or industries, serving all the rest of the world was stopped or is stopped at the moment. The second trend, the second huge element in yellow, the 0.213, the virtual century distance is back and the rise of contact-free economy, is in reality a phenomenon, a trend that was already present and in which we were also before COVID. And according to the place we are in the world, we can experience 10, 20 years of distance, of difference in practice. I mean that here in Italy, the smart working, for example, was common at sea level, in the C-suite, less common in this first pilot phase in different organizations. While I know that in some other parts of the world, it's more common, but COVID has forced everybody to move towards this reality, and probably this will not change and will not go back to what it was. A second point, very important point, which is characterizing all over the world our reality, is the reinvention of authority in light blue, 0.5 and 4, and 4 in the second box. This means that governments, public, is entering heavily in the economy, in the businesses, to help people and organizations go beyond this difficult crisis and situation, which is probably at the very beginning. This have many implications, and will have many implications on how organizations and business is organized and will be managed in the next future. This means that we will assist to phenomena. There will be more scrutiny for business because beyond the value creation for shareholders in the short time will be still present, but will be not enough. It will be not enough because to more peace, profit, planet, and people have to be at the center of our supporting profession. Whenever we are coaches, manager, or leader of private or public organizations.
Mm-hmm. Here there is Maria, who is telling us that in Italy, in January, 5,000 people were smart working, and now in March, immediately 7 million working in smart working. So it was a jump, an incredible leap in a very short time. So this is a strong situation, a really incredible experience that we are sustaining and that we are working on now.
Yes, Barbara, this probably will imply, it is already implying as a consequence, the redesign of supply chains and the redesign of business models and the redesign of how work is organized.
Mm-hmm. That's an incredible change that we can better understand here.
Yeah, another interesting phenomenon or trend is that it is called cocooning. Many of us, if not all, have experienced it and are experiencing a much longer presence at home. and it was, this is also making us, or has made us reflect on our personal values, and brought us to reprioritize our values, or reconsider our values and act and our behaviors that we personally act in day by day.
Mm-hmm. They say that, yeah, they say that the people in the Western world are very extroverted, like they like to be outside, they like to meet people, they like to travel, they like to be, and so in these periods maybe we discovered more the internal world and a little of introversion, you know, more time to think, more time to think about our values, about our priorities. That's it. Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah.
Okay. Another point that we are facing, and all those who are leading services or industries, the shift of the channel and the place where consumers buy.
Mm-hmm.
This will have also main implication on how we will support our clients and our people towards the new future. But I would like to go. These are general trends.
Yeah. And I want to read a few things that are being written on the chat. Here I have Gabriele, and he's mentioning headquarters at the United Nations. The ratio of people telecommuting at the United Nations went from about 12% perspiration COVID to 99%, from 12 to 99. And there has been no decrease in productivity perceived by member states. And Anthony adds that what was considered impossible became a reality in a very, very short time. Okay, so Jeremy adds, and it's very important, we spoke about being in the same sea but on the same boat. Not so sure about productivity due to new distractions of kids, animals, no private work, for people who are inadequate technology. It's true, the digital divide now is even stronger than before, because if you are out of the connection, you are outside of the world at this point. Yeah, and that which adds that there is a vast difference of a homework experience depending if you are a single, for example, a single household, or you have children and the ages of children. If you have 3 very young kids from 1 to 5, I think that this could become really difficult, you know. Jeremy adds that he had to coach in Rwanda by text on WhatsApp because the phone wasn't working. Of course, Jeremy, that's really, really bad, an awful experience, yes. And the distance working, as Federica, that we are now calling smart working, doesn't have to do a lot with the real smart working, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, I have here more messages. Can I read them, Luca?
I don't know, just a look on the watch. I think we will be able to share something more later in subgroups,
Okay.
or after, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Now, moving from these very general trends and some fields of personal experience, what is certain, we are all living a subjective experience as human beings and as professionals. And going towards ourselves, now we will propose you a quick survey that Federico will shortly lead. We will propose you to answer to 3 questions. Please describe your sentiment. What would you like happily leave behind? and what you want to see happening in the better normal.
Yeah, thank you. That's very interesting. Commuting in Los Angeles, it's unbearable. I guess so. I understand. So here in transition, emergent, harmonious, there are possibilities as well. And there is someone who's happy to be with us and exchanging in a way that maybe 1 year ago, it's not the same. And somebody's confused, somebody's surprised, worried, intrigued, frustrated. There is some anxiety as well. So here, there's a sentiment that there are a lot more hand washing, right? Everybody's washing hands. Our hands are really so clean today. No, we are not used to that. Thank you. What's next?
Shall I go to the second question?
Yeah. Oh, let's hear here. It's very interesting. How here you see office politics. We cannot stand that more. President Trump, we really understand this cry of help from somebody in the United States, probably. Commuting and hyper competition. No, we don't like that. Obsession for time. Yes. Oh, yeah, that could be something that we can leave behind. The idea that normal is a constant, but we can change that. This was one of the lessons that we learned from coronavirus, that we can change. If we are really willing to do so, we can change. And also bad habits. Let's leave some bad habits behind. And this is an issue, for example, that in coaching, in my coachings comes out very frequently. Leaving bad habits behind, yeah. Then here, traffic, pollution, hurry, hatred, we want to leave it behind, yeah. Unnecessary waste. This is a period where everybody is consuming less. We have less needs in this period. We are buying less things, probably. And then long trips which are not necessary and complicate the agenda. Right, this is something that also I agree to that very, very much. And whatever is superfluous, we understand what the basic needs are and we stick to them a little more strongly than before, right? Enrico, what's next? Oh, good. The better, in our better normal, we want more. You see how many of collaboration, I don't know if this is a mistake or it was intentional. Collaboration, cooperation. President Biden, yeah. We want more humanity, more connection, more patience, more sharing, more compassion, and less profit. Maybe we don't need so much profit, and we have to balance it. Luca told us the 3P of profit, people, and planet. Probably we need to balance the 3Ps to make it a better normal, right?